My name is Irene Asua, a member of the Nairobi Water Justice Working Group. As we mark World Social Justice Day, there is that article, of course, that we keep repeating, the Article 43 on social and economic rights. And at this juncture, what is more important and more integral is that part of that article that says every Kenyan has a right to clean and safe water in adequate quantities. So we are here to register, first of all, our disappointment in the current parliament for agreeing to sell our water by passing regulations and bills without public participation, because no one has given us a summary of the public participation that they claim to have happened. We don't know where those public participation happened. And to uphold the vision of the Kenyan Constitution, and that is devolution of water as a devolved function, and to say that water must be funded publicly and the infrastructure must be done by public funds. And to say that as Kenyans we are not going to allow water, which is a public commodity, to be reduced to a commodity that is being sold to the highest bidder by multinational corporations. And by that, I call on all Kenyans to mulika our members of county assemblies, especially the ones who sit in the water committee. What are they doing in that committee? To mulika our senators. Why are they silent about these bills that we hear are in the Senate right now? And we need to know which senators are on our side and which senators are for selling this country. Are they going to follow suit the parliament by passing bills under the guise of public-private participations, which are in fact selling the country, instead of ensuring that the country is sustainable and secure for Kenyans? So I call on all Kenyans that we must allow water to remain a public good, and the national government must support the county government to distribute water to people, and the tariff that we pay for that water must be equitable across all social classes. And we are also reminding the state that the same constitution says it is their duty to ensure that we have a clean and safe environment, and the state has an obligation to ensure that our natural ecosystems are conserved and are used in a sustainable manner that we are able to bequeath the upcoming generations. So even as we talk about water, our focus on water as a country must not be narrow. We must think about our ecosystems, and we must remember that these ecosystems are not just for us. They are also for generations that are coming. Maji yetu, uhai wetu, haki yetu.
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 Asante.
Bunge la Mwananchi.
Nguvu mashinani. Nguvu mashinani.
Bunge la Mwananchi.
Nguvu mashinani.
Nguvu mashinani.
Bunge la Mwananchi.
Asante sana. My name is Comrade Bush. I am the Attorney General of Bunge La Mwananchi. Now, today we commemorate a very important day in the history of humanity, the Day of Social Justice. Today, justice, or the demand of social justice, has become the universal aspiration of humanity. Today, the call for social justice has become the universal cry of humanity. And today, the call of social justice has become the universal aspiration of the people of Kenya. As Bunge La Mwananchi, an organization that is entrusted with, championing social justice in Kenya, we are aggrieved. Today, as the people of Kenya, we are aggrieved because the institution, which is the government, which is entrusted with the mandate of ensuring that the social justice in Kenya has become the biggest perpetrator of social injustice in Kenya. So as Bunge La Mwananchi, we demand that the government must reverse its policy course as regard to social justice in Kenya, we have seen skyrocketing numbers of victims of police brutality. We have seen the judiciary, which should be the arbiter, emasculated by the executive. Things are happening in Kenya. The policies of this administration, all of them have been injected by the judiciary. That points to one fact, that social justice, injustice has become the norm in Kenya. And as Bunge La Mwananchi, we must champion and inaugurate a call to ensure that the government reverse this state of affairs. Otherwise, as a country, we are doomed to collapse. Number two, which is very important, there is the Public Benefits Act, which is in Parliament. I think it had been passed. It is an act now. It had been passed. This act has not been operationalized. There is the whistleblowers. It is still a bill, though at an advanced stage in Parliament. We call on Parliament to fast track and enact that bill into an act so that the President can assent to it, so that those who are in this space can shield themselves from the threats that we have been receiving from the executive. The other day you heard the President say that that sword that he has was not meant for cutting boga. We have heard people in the political space threatening directly those who advance the cause of social justice in Kenya. This must be reversed. Therefore, as Bunge La Mwananchi, we will petition Parliament, and as the Attorney General, we will petition Parliament, we will petition the Presidency, so that these crucial acts that protect those who, the actors in this sector or in this space, are fast-tracked, enacted into law and assented to by the President. Last but not least, we have seen clashes in various parts of the country. We have seen clashes in Sondu that relate to border dispute. We have seen fishermen in Migingo being attacked by the security personnel of Uganda. These are Kenyans. They also deserve social justice. So as we commemorate this important day, let us bear in mind that the President, as the Chairman of National Security Council, must exercise his powers accordingly, so that those incidents, these conflicts and disputes are brought to a halt, not just focusing his attention to North Rift alone. All these people are Kenyans together, and we must ensure that all of them have live in a safe and a secure environment. Then moving forward as a country, we want a society that is just. Today's theme is whether Kenya is just, a just society, whether it is equitable society, whether it is equal, or there is something they say, or fair. And our resounding verdict as Bunge La Mwananchi is that Kenya is the most unfair, Kenya is the most unequal, and Kenya is the most unequitable country. And we must channel our efforts towards ensuring that Kenya becomes a just society, Kenya becomes an equal society, Kenya becomes an equitable society. And there's nobody else who can champion that cause other than Bunge La Mwananchi. Final but not least, last but not least, we have seen the President has endorsed the bid of the opposition leader, Raila Odinga, for the position of AU. As Bunge La Mwananchi, we want to state, and categorically this is our official position, that a time when the destiny of an individual is adopted as the destiny of the state is past. When someone is aspiring for an office, whether it is in Addis Ababa, whether it is in Brussels, whether it is in Washington, you must fund your own bid. We don't want the issue of state resources being deployed to finance people who are aspiring for certain offices. We saw massively when the Republic of Kenya spent billions of shillings sponsoring BBI that was going to die. We saw the Republic of Kenya sponsor the bid of Amina Mohamed, knowing very well that she was going to fail. And today, the appeasement policy where individuals are pissed at the cost of public funds, has been taken a notch higher. We are seeing Raila Odinga. Yes, we do not oppose in principle his bid for that position, but we do not condone or we do not accept the issue of public funds being set aside, like the president has now launched a process and inaugurated a committee that will oversee that process. We don't want to see public funds being used for that purpose. And as Bunge La Mwananchi, we are going to take a petition to the Treasury so that public funds, with a standing order, so that public funds that are entrusted to Professor Njuguna Ndugu do not leave Exchequer or Treasury to support the bid of anybody. And if those funds leave Treasury, we will hold Njuguna Ndugu personally liable for misusing, for channeling and misdirecting public resources to support the bid of somebody we are exporting to the rest of Africa. It is against the spirit of Pan-Africanism. Comrade power. It is against the spirit of Pan-Africanism to export somebody you consider a problem in your own country. Let us look for a way. It is against the spirit of Pan-Africanism. We are going to do great harm to those people. Let us look for a way to ensure that even if it is done within the confines of the law. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bunge la Mwananchi. Bunge la Mwananchi. Mumeileta juu sana ndugu yangu. Asante sana. I'm Samson Ojiayo, the first president of Bunge La Mwananchi. When Bunge started as a concept and actually we made it, I was the first president of Bunge La Mwananchi. And I think this is a very, very good time for us actually coming back as a people who actually are in the civil society, the people who are fighting for change. It's not about, we are not in a rhetoric conversation where we are talking. We mean it. When Bunge La Mwananchi say that we are going to do it, they do it. So we mean it. And I remember those people know the spirit of Bunge when we started. That time was not easy. But we meant it, we still mean it.
Yes.
We mean it, whatever we're saying here as a resolution is going to remain. Somebody asked the question of education. It is very, very important actually also to go deeper into, to review or to check into our curriculum. Yes, I know that there's that concept of CBC. The question we need to ask ourselves also, what are we going to achieve in the CBC, which is not there in 844? That is a big question which our parents, teachers, government must answer. Some of us also, we have teachers in our compound, and you engage them sometimes, you find the parents are not aware of actually what is there what is entailed in the CBC, what do they want to achieve. As we talk, we have so many students ambayo saa hizi walifanya form 4 wakaingia into university. We cannot put also our university as a conveyor belt whereby we manufacture product and we dump them down the street without employment.
Yes.
Yeah, because as we speak, we have graduates who are down the street. They've stayed here for more than 6 months. Some of them are engineers, we have nurses, we have doctors, we have so many different disciplines actually outside the street. Why are we educating these people? And the professors are still in the university, lecturing hall, pulling their suspenders, teaching old methods of education, which end up actually our students are down the street. We need to go deeper into education and check. Because as we are doing, how do we connect an engineer of Nairobi University and that person who actually is doing practical in mechanical in Gorgon? How do we connect them? How do you assume these things so that we come what? We get the reality in life. Because number one, for example, I'm wondering, in this country, I've been told that we're in agricultural what? Country. But you see people are running down the street, they are demanding the price of commodity or unga to go down. What do you mean by agriculture? What do you mean by agriculture in terms of agriculture? Or you are talking about those agriculture which are in, how do you call it, Naivasha, whereby those women are dying after doing their work, and the white men, you are taking those flowers to white men so that they can actually put in their table, they celebrate, while our women are dying because of the chemicals they are using. What are these? What are we talking about? These are the things which you need to connect as a nation. And Bunge La Mwananchi, I'm here to incite you positively. I'm here to incite you positively. that you have an opportunity, that you are the civil society, join and actually make this movement a movement which actually need to fight for workers' rights. You need to fight for each and every aspect so that we get a better society to live in. There's something which I was asking, and I asked that question, and the member of further state, I want you to interrogate it. I have no issue with the issue of housing. Nani atake nyumba? We need it. But I'm asking, are we changing the land tenure from the leasehold and vitu kama hizo? Are we changing? If the land remain ya kwamba ni a leasehold, and then you build a house in that land, are you saying that when I retire, go back home, which I'll retire and go back home, this land I'll leave it to my daughter or my son? Is she going to be subjected to 99 leasehold? Well, this is a question we need to ask. Because is the land changing or remaining the same? Because as we speak, there are so many people who got land in the 60s and all that. Those land, today there are some people who are claiming them, isn't it? Is that the issue? Number two, I'm coming from my village area. In that village, are we talking about town dwellers? Hello? Are you talking about the people who live in here? Because my friend, I'm from Shags. I'm coming from, that is my home. In Nairobi, I have a house. I don't know whether they're getting that. Now I want to go back home. Are they coming also to build for me a house? No. Now when you want my money for what? Because I need also, you factor in my issue. If you're not factoring in my issue, and this should be the question, minus, without politicizing everything, because we're not saying that, because Article 43, we need actually for people to get, that article to be implemented. Yes. The question, how? The how part of it must be answered. Bunge, this is your opportunity. Go out and ask this question. Ask without a fear of contradiction. And in fact, if you do it, people will know exactly what to stand for. I don't want to take the time of president position, but there are two things which we need to know, because workers issue, I think he's going to deal with it. The worker issue is very, very important today, because you cannot have people who are employed, but in fact they are just employed, they are waiting for their death, but there's no salary. There are things which we need to go deeper into it. So I think that one, I want to leave it to the president, but I'm saying and I'm repeating it, my parting shot. When Bunge believe on something, nobody is going to stop it. Thank you.